Doug MPA back with another video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on the way in. I'd really appreciate it. It shows that you support me and the content on this channel. So, I come from Washington State, which is super left and super liberal. And I can tell you, Washington State is trash. If you're a man, if you're an independent or a conservative, don't move to Washington State. It's a dumpster fire. I would argue Oregon, California, the West Coast of the United States is one big dumpster fire. If we look at some of the policies and trends going on in those states, just look it up, Google it, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. California, the middle of last year, passed a law that they will not arrest anyone loitering for sex work. And so now you have this situation in San Francisco where neighborhoods are complaining about the activity going on there and they want something done. So this news story is about this woman who calls herself an escort reacting to neighborhoods complaining about what's going on after this law was passed where they won't arrest people loitering for sex work. So let's get into this and we'll see what's going on in San Francisco.
To a story we told you about earlier this week. Tonight, a self-described escort is sharing her perspective and asking for understanding. This comes after repeated complaints about prostitution on Cap Street in San Francisco's Mission District. KTVU's Amber Lee is here now after speaking with the woman. Amber.
Julie, the city is planning to put up barriers on the streets where neighbors have
planning to put up barriers on the street because of the people in the neighborhoods with complaints. Wow.
complained about traffic and other problems brought on by prostitution. City leaders say they're stepping in out of concern for the neighbors and the workers. The self-described escort says she's there to make a living, not cause trouble.
Okay, she's there to make a living and not cause trouble. Let's see what this person has to say.
I just want to fight for our rights as women.
This woman goes by the name Queen.
Of course she does.
She contacted KTVU wanting to talk openly about her work on Cap Street in San Francisco's Mission District. She describes herself as an escort, not a sex worker, in an area where residents complain of illegal activity, prostitution, traffic, honking, and other loud noise on a regular basis.
So she's gonna go into what she does for a living, and you'll see why she calls herself an escort instead of, the other thing.
I want to say I'm sorry. This is from all the women out there, because we are sorry, because we don't really want to cause no harm to nobody. We're just out there to make a living.
The 22
Out there to make a living. So she's in her 20s. Let's keep going.
year-old tells me she's a single mom who's
Of course she is.
supporting a 4-year-old son and has bills to pay. She says it's a struggle to survive.
So she's a 24-year-old single mother with a son, and she's out here on these streets.
It was my last resort.
To work out on the streets.
Yes.
You tried to get jobs and you couldn't.
Yes.
Queen
She tried to get jobs, but she couldn't. How many of you believe that? I don't.
says she doesn't work for anyone but herself, and that her sister, who is not in the profession, will often be out there with her to watch her back. She says she's been working the streets for 5 months. Queen tells me she's not selling sex, which is illegal. She's selling her time.
You hear that? So that's why she's an escort. She doesn't sell, a good time. She just sells her time. How many of you believe that? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I feel like you should have a right to stand anywhere. What if someone just want to pay me the time?
How often does that happen?
A lot, actually.
Listen to this. I'm trying not to laugh. Let's just keep going.
We look at the reasons for women and men to be on the street.
Antonia Levine is director of San Francisco Collaborative Against Human Trafficking, which helps provide services to survivors. She says people who work the streets are often exploited, the victims of human trafficking, with few, if any, options to make a living.
So here's the thing. There are women who are in that situation, but I don't think it's the majority. There have been multiple articles that says that when times are tough, a lot of women go towards this type of work, whether it be OF, canning, anything involved in this kind of trade. So it's just times are hard out there. We knew that a recession was coming, and it's 2023, and now it's here, and women don't have any options. So this is what's going to end up happening.
And some are minors.
We look at this situation as lack of support networks in the community and as societal problem.
The city
So it's the community's fault, and it's a societal problem. The same old excuses.
plans to put up barriers on Cap Street between 18th and 22nd Streets to keep out illegal activity. Queen says that measure will not work because those activities will take place on other streets.
I was homeless at a young age, so it's like I just do what I can to make sure I get what I need to get or do what I gotta do.
Yeah, and I can see that. But then you had a baby, though. Because a lot of these situations, okay, you can mess your own life up, but the standards are different when you have a child. Now you're messing up your life and the child's life.
Supervisor Hillary Ronan, who represents this district, tells me the barriers will likely go up Friday. Her aide says it is a temporary measure and it'll be evaluated in 2 weeks. He says there is a push to get state lawmakers to legalize the profession to regulate the industry in hopes of making it safer for sex workers. Julie?
Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Is it time for states in the United States to start legalizing? Because I think Australia legalized um, this stuff, and it seems to be going pretty well. I might research that and do another video on it. But I think if any state is going to do it, it's going to be California, because I mean, California. Hey, well, let me know what you think about this. Do you live in California? Do you live in Washington or Oregon? Um, Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.